Hello guys, Deni is with you as always. Today's theme is Middle Ages, so we need to do some kind of brutal introduction because otherwise you will throw shit like a German's house in Kingdom Come. In medieval game development, the second coming is waiting for us soon because games in this style will soon be released just a hell of a lot. I have collected all the most interesting things for you in this video so that you know what to watch out for. Click on the like, click on the subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, well actually let's go. About the Germans. Let's start with the new Kingstrife, where we are located in 13th century Germany. It is a non-linear single-player medieval role-playing game with a physical simulation of combat. The main feature of the game is just physics. The developers boast that their advanced physically modeled combat system takes into account the impact of each strike. Weapons do not just break through, but instead deliver stunning blows, characters fall off balance, and horse attacks knock down your opponents. And yes, visually, the game is hyper-realistic. It looks like a Kingdom Come crossed with Mount and Blade. What it will be in the end is still unclear, but it looks pretty cool. If you have long dreamed of building sheds and tearing grass in the world of Dark Souls, then there is only a little bit left to wait, a unique hybrid of survival and soul-like with crafting. The main quest is to find and save our daughter. Among the unusual moments, there is crafting and the construction of a base, trade, and you can even fly on Pegasus. Plus, they brought a little magic, in particular magic books that promise to teleport you around the world. But in fact, these books are able to lie and can send you to places where you are not fully ready to go. Moreover, the game is coming out very soon, on May 15th. Something unique. Cataclismo is a real-time strategy game where we build castles brick by brick and protect people from hordes of nightmarish monsters. You build up defenses, and in addition, you put not only buildings, but also people on walls. The game itself is divided into two phases, a construction site during the day, fighting at night. Well, in the sense that monsters come at night and poke all your cracks, no matter how twofold it sounds. The campaign was also brought here for 30 hours, and creative mode and survival in general really cool. And this is the most secretive game of the whole collection. Well, in the sense that the developers share so little information about the game, but at the same time they tell the players that it will be released in 2024. In front of you is a medieval equestrian action game with elements of survival, in which you and 3 other hard workers will have to cut a couple hundred zombies in a desperate attempt to find and destroy the source of infection. The animations and visuals of the game look so great that I would buy it right now. But so far, even the price of this masterpiece is unknown. But on the other hand, it is known that the developers have joined DBD developers, so there will be more money, and experienced specialists too. A simulator of medieval fencing, or in simple terms, Bloody Massacre on Unreal Engine 5 is a fun game rather than some kind of super tough project, and you can come here just to scare, and you can go in even now because it has a demo. The main feature of the game is sword control. It is carried out not just by a conditional mechanism there, you can fully steer with your mouse, which allows you to make a real bloody mess. Well, the physics of hits is pretty cool. If you hit someone's face, it blows up. There is such a game. Yes, Your Grace. A kind of kingdom management simulator where we slowly sort out the affairs of our subordinates and try to live in a medieval world. So soon we will have a sequel to this game. In it, King Eric, under our control, will have to prepare the country for the impending harsh winter and deal with family affairs, not forgetting the needs of countless petitioners and maneuvering between wayward lords. The graphics in the sequel are just bombastic, but with a recognizable original style. If you played the first part, the second one, apparently, will be even better. Talking about the second parts, what about the second Outward? Yes, it was announced and apparently it will be even bigger, better, and more difficult than the last part. In my opinion, the graphics have become a little better than in the previous part. Outward is a cooperative survival adventure with a world that lives by itself. The game is very difficult and at first you will find it hard because no one explains to you how to play this game and what to do, all through trial and mistakes and suffering, but if you get involved, wow, it's a great thing. I hope the second one will be the same. Here in front of you is Vindictus, an action game that is currently in the pre-alpha stage. As for gameplay, you will find pretty Souls-like. Well, in the sense that you have to punch different bosses in the face and dodge their punches so as not to pass out. The visual and the gameplay are great, but it is not yet clear if it will be a corridor game or an open world one. We'll find out closer to the release. By the way, he knows when the he is. What about another Tarkov, but in the style of medieval dark fantasy? That's it, Dungeonborne. We have a standard set here, treasure hunting, exploring sinister dungeons, and fighting mobs. You can spend time in the game either alone or with 2 allies. Plus 7 character classes have been brought into the game, so there will be a variety of packs. While you are confused, as in Tarkov, you will stumble upon other such packs of players, and you will be able to arrange massive 3v3 cuts. Well, the game doesn't look bad either. A few words about the Quinfall. This is a future MMORPG, which God knows when it will be released. We are waiting for a full-fledged open world, full of character classes, changing seasons, and 5 different regions where the whole world lives its own life. The action is non-targeted, and tons of PvP and PvE are also present. Professions, fierce customization of characters, and even a plot want to start about some kind of god, Dragonborn, and other majestic consumer goods. The Quinfall doesn't even have an approximate release date, but a game test is expected in the near future, where 10,000 people will be launched. Plus, the developers are actively sharing the development. Not so long ago, they even ran through the cities of the game. Everything looks cool. Project Awakening was announced almost 6 years ago, but so far there is actually no detailed information about the project except that we are waiting for a large-scale fantasy adventure in a world with a variety of monsters. There was complete silence for 2 years, and now the authors finally showed that the game was not cancelled, that it would be released, and in general, they worked hard all this time. We'll find out what they're buying when additional information appears. Medieval RTS. Well, how nice this phrase is. And then there's the setting and dark fantasy flavored, and suddenly Slavic folklore. It's generally beautiful. Here we have in real-time base construction, so also with indirect making of various decisions that affect your characters. Naturally, you will build your kingdom and meet a bunch of mythical monsters and force them to fertilize the soil with a couple of holes in their bellies. The game looks very interesting, but sadly it won. Be released soon. Oh, look at the cute thing. This is Mirthwood, a kind of life simulator in the Middle Ages, with notes of RPG, of course. Since this is a simulator of life, then the world here is also alive and open, with a huge number of random events. It consists of 6 diverse regions and 3 large cities. In the game, you can build your own farm, harvest crops, start a family, engage in trade, hunt bandits, and just talk to NPCs. In short, a full-fledged Stardew Valley, the current Graphon is better in the medieval setting. Well, I think it's time to talk about something big, right? The remake of the first Gothic is clearly big, because many people are waiting for the legend, and judging by the game trailers, everything looks very good already. The game should be released in the second half of this year, and not such shitty people are developing the game. The screenwriter is the creator of Enderal. This is a mod for Skyrim, very cool one, which is essentially a separate game. The composer of the original Gothic is responsible for the music, and the development is led by a person who produces mods for the original Gothic. In general, professionals at work can't wait to see By the way, Kingmakers should be doing well too. True, you are here even in the Middle Ages, but you are not an ordinary peasant. You are a messenger from the future. Kingmakers is a combination of real-time strategy and a third-person shooter. You will have to build buildings, assemble an army, and participate in battles. And since the main character came from the future, he has pistols, machine guns, grenade launchers, and other guns at his disposal. Also, you can command an army, select a squad of soldiers, and send them to another point on the map. Game will allow you to switch between strategic mode and a third-person view at any time. Apparently, it should turn out very well. Oh, I hope this shit comes out sometime. This is Pax Dei, sensational MMORPG with a huge world, beautiful graphics, and a million familiar mechanics of ordinary MMORPGs, except perhaps for the class system. So that the game is a sandbox, the decision to get rid of character classes was quite deliberate. There is no class to choose in Pax Dei. Instead, the character's role is determined by the equipment he wears at one time or another. The alpha test of the game ended not so long ago, and many people really got into it. In general, we are waiting for it. We are also waiting for the new Dragon Age. Yeah. We have been waiting for a very long time, at least for understanding the previous part was released 10 years ago. No, you're not an old man, it's just that the developers are somehow late. It was only at the end of last year that she came to her senses a little bit and dropped a teaser with the final name of the game. There is little doubt that the new Dragon Age will be the same third-person party RPG as the previous installments. However, there are no details about the gameplay yet, so to speculate about possible gameplay mechanics, character abilities, combat the system, and the like will not work, but it can be assumed that Dreadwolf will become an open world game, or at least a game with large open locations regions. The game will be released no earlier than 2025. Unlike the last game, the sequel to the legendary Kingdom Come, Deliverance, under the formidable number 2, will be released this year, most likely by the end of this year. As you know, this is one of the most realistic medieval games, with an amazing plot, graphics, and an excellent action game that unfolds over time. We play for the same character, and apparently, the combat system will become even more diverse than before. Judging by the trailer, the game is half a head more diverse than the original, so we are definitely waiting for this legend. But the situation in the second part of the Hellblade is not unambiguous. The continuation of the Senua saga is planned literally in a little over a week, and even now it is not included in the top 200 pre-orders, and someone doesn't talk much about it. Apparently, the developers are ready to release a great product without overestimating the expectations of the players with constant trailers about how they moved one stone a millimeter further and now everything is different. Judging by the trailer, the game has become even more violent, so I personally am waiting for this adventure. If you are fed up with the cruelty, then welcome to the joyful, fervent, bright medieval Italy. However, the game is in the Soul-like genre, so at-ass warm-up will be provided. Shortly, Soul-like, I think everything immediately became clear from the gameplay. But there are some peculiarities here. Firstly, there is a similarity of character classes, and they depend on the masks that you wear. Moreover, these masks are knocked out from defeated enemies, and there are under 30 of them with its own strengths and weaknesses. In addition, you can switch between 3 of them at any given time. Add here a branch of talents like in the field. 3 main regions, more than 100 enemies, and 40 hours of gameplay. This should be an extremely good game. Well, that's it for today. I hope you found something medieval powerful for yourself, and therefore clicked like and subscribe too. Deni was with you as always.